No idea. Yeah, Michael and I are ready. Welcome back to Rice Field for AHS football. Today we got the Anacortes Seahawks versus
Just a reminder, the
Townsend
Seahawks' final home game is this coming Saturday, March the 20th.
Redhawks.
At 1 p.m.
Redhawks. Both teams on a 3-game losing streak. Looking to kind of put some fire into the last couple games of the season, really end off on a nice note. So we'll see how this matchup goes.
Anacortes electing to receive first half, so they'll be kicking off second half. See if they can't get their offense rolling here to get the game started and put some points on the board early against a threatening Port Townsend team. Hasn't had a season as I'm sure they'd like to see, as Mason said earlier. Actually haven't grabbed a win this season yet, the Redhawks. Of course, Anacortes really only slightly ahead of them with 1 win under their belt. So hoping to boost their record before the end of the season. And
I think electing to receive first is a good choice. I think Joe Cutter and the receiver, 22 Hayden John, have been really the star players for this team, and I think the offense has definitely been the high point for our Anacortes Seahawks. So getting some points on the board, getting some momentum is I think a really good idea for the Seahawks.
Got surprised there by the camera switch, but we're here with you. As you can see, Mason elected not to dress properly.
I'm sorry. Here, pinch me.
It is, in fact, St. Patrick's Day, so happy day of St. Patrick to all you Irishmen and women. We don't discriminate here. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take a seat and get into the action here. Anacortes coming out.
Great field position, actually. Almost at the 44-yard line.
Real short kick there by Port Townsend.
Good return as well.
So they're actually going to be starting a freshman. That's Rex Larson out there, number 4 on the field.
Oh, wow. I'd electing to start with Joe.
And
Joe's receiving.
There you go. And that's a quick 15, 16 yards running out of bounds on the far sideline goes Joe Cutter, receiving a catch there from the young quarterback. So a good start for the Seahawks and a very interesting starting lineup as well.
Yeah, I'm just consistently impressed with Joe. He's a threat on defense, he's a threat on offense, and now we see him as a double threat on offense, receiving the ball there, and obviously a great run. You see Joe take a lot of quarterback sneaks, a lot of runs as well, so you know he's got the speed, you know he's got the athleticism. So
not afraid to hurt his body.
Exactly.
And we see Joe Cutter right next to the person he's normally throwing to there, Hayden John, on that far side of the field right around the 40. As Larson will take the snap. This time it's a handoff to Jake Shue. Makes a couple quick cuts, grabs maybe 5-6 yards, and second down upcoming for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks has a great passing game, a great air game with Hayden John, and now Joe on the wing as well. So I definitely like to see the Seahawks get their running game a little more up to speed, get a dual threat in there. You see a lot of long balls from the Seahawks offense, and they can be kind of easy to defend and have some lasting repercussions. So I'd like to see a little bit more diversity in their offense, and it seems like they're getting stuff going. So I'm really happy with the start from the Seahawks.
Balanced offense would definitely work in their favor today. So we'll see if they can put that together. So far, it looks as though they're doing well with that. As Jake Shue takes another run, this time for a first down and more goes the junior Jake Shue. Really using the muscle he's built up on his body there to his advantage, just barreling guys over. Truly, it's quite impressive.
He found that gap and went straight through it. Really impressive run from Jake Shue there. That looked to almost be 20 yards. Looks like we're going to go to a replay here of that last play.
And you see just refusing to go down there, Jake Shue.
Breaking tackles left and right. He found the gap, went right through it.
So getting ready for a first down now. All of a sudden, they're within Port Townsend red zone. And throw out wide to Hayden John.
Ooh.
Not quite getting away from the tackler, Trevor Wilson there.
It's number 22, Hayden John.
But still, that looks to be a first down, or at least close to it. And Seahawks are knocking on the door of the end zone of the Redhawks.
So they'll call that right around the 9, maybe 10-yard line.
Yeah,
I think they are going
to be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, 2nd and short here. So we'll see if they elect to run with Shoe. It's what you would think they would do, but I'd like to see if maybe they put it in the air and try to fake out this defense who would assume it'd be coming from Shoe.
Yeah, you see Joe and Hayden John lining up at the bottom of your screen. It looks like they're gonna try to make a play down there with the throw. There it is, right on the bottom.
And a loss of yardage and actually a fumble coming out of the hands of Carson Porch, the receiver, on that affair. And not sure if he was down by contact. Wouldn't really matter because Hayden John was able to grab that ball. But you see they did, in fact, fake the run to Shoe and then elect to throw it, which actually didn't really work in their favor that time, unfortunately, for the Seahawks.
The throw looked to be a little high, and then it was juggled by the receiver a little bit. So I don't know if that was a bit of a miscommunication or just a poor throw by the rookie quarterback. Looks to be settling in here. And
you've got to think there's definitely got to be some jitters for
exactly
Larson because you're going up against guys that are possibly 3 years older than you at this point, and when they're coming full steam at you, it's intimidating.
And you got some big shoes to fill. Joe, like I said, has been the absolute star of the team. And there it is, Hayden John, the other star receiver we talked about, right in the end zone there.
Seahawks grabbing 6 points early here in the game, able to put together a scoring drive in the first quarter.
Really fast scoring drive, too.
Yeah. And like we said, if they can keep up that kind of offensive strategy, being able to manipulate the defense of the Redhawks through the air and on the ground, as well as they did in that first drive, I think we're looking at what should be a high-scoring game for the Seahawks.
I agree. And looking at some of the Redhawks' past games where they're losing by 30-plus, 40-plus points, it seems to be that our Anacortes Seahawks are taking advantage of that kind of weakened defense to really get on the board early, get some momentum, and hopefully drive this game home. So, like I said earlier, I think their choice to receive was a really good choice because I think a scoring drive in less than 4 minutes at the first try is really kind of a mental break for the Redhawks. Maybe not quite giving up, but it's kind of like, here we go again.
Yeah.
They're on a 3-game lose streak. They're losing by a lot. They're trying to push back, but that really fast scoring drive, like right out of the gate, must just be kind of another nail in the coffin. So.
It's demoralizing, definitely, and a statement made by the Seahawks that we hope to see more of in the coming quarters. And you saw Caleb Nelson put that extra point through the uprights, and he'll go ahead and kick off here for his first time of the afternoon. It's weird to say afternoon. We're used to night games, but it's still light out, and
the
probably
fact that
will be for the whole game.
We started this when it was light out. It's a little weird.
And then again, just a quick plug to Saturday, where they'll actually be having their concluding game of the season at 1 p.m. So another afternooner, where hopefully they can come up with a win to close the season out and end up 500, 3-3 on the year.
Yeah, that would be a great way to close their season. Having the 3-game loss streak is a little rough, but ending the season on a high note would be really good for this team.
Taken down fairly quickly, call it the 31-yard line, and the Red Hawk offense will trot out onto the field for their first opportunity of the afternoon and see if they can't respond to the Seahawks in a similar fashion.
They still have pretty decent field position, not quite as good as the 44 that we had, but 31 is nothing to scoff at. It's a good start, but got a ways to go before they're any threat. Seeing that kind of short kick on the return must mean that the field goal range is definitely closer to the red zone for the Redhawks.
So he'll go ahead and take the snap here, fake it, and high thrown out of the hands of Siamo Asuga. Wow, just fell onto one of the harder names to pronounce, but that's number 44 who couldn't catch that one off of the ball from Gavin Lawson.
And regardless of the throw, I think there was really good coverage there. He was right on top of him in front, looking back at the quarterback, so there's no pass interference penalty. It looked like really, really solid, tight man-to-man coverage. So even if the ball was more on target, I would have expected maybe a bat away or just a dropped ball.
Which is impressive considering when you look now on your screen at the bottom here, Carson Porch is going up against a guy like 44. That's
huge.
That's a big man to cover as we see a run here from the Redhawks on second down. This time a decent amount of yardage picked up, right around the 40-yard line, it looks like, actually.
Third down, and looks to be about 4 or 5, but looking for a quick 3 and out here. I would be surprised if they go for the run again. I would like to see, even that first missed throw, I would like to see them get some more confidence back in their air game and see if they can get that going, because I think the Seahawks defensive line has been really strong. Oh, they go for the run again, and Oh, there we
Tried
go.
to muster through some tackles there. That was Anson Jones, unable to come up with the third down conversion.
Like I said, the defensive line for Anacortes has been really strong all year, and I'm not surprised that they stopped that run. And it seems that with that first missed throw, they kind of lost confidence in their air game, and they went for 2 runs in a row. And Anacortes just said, "Hey, that's our wheelhouse, baby. We'll shut you down."
That's right.
Right there, 3 and out.
Well
Are they
spoken.
punting?
It looks as though they're gonna get lined up to punt. Cutter trotting back towards the Seahawk 20-yard line to receive. And they will. So on fourth down here, a punt coming, and it's going to sail out of bounds
About the
to
30.
the left. So again, decent starting field position for the Seahawks. They'll try to put together another drive and hopefully go up 14-0 on the scoreboard. Still fairly early here in the first quarter.
I mean, it looks to be pretty dominant here from the Seahawks so far. I mean, scoring drive in less than 4 minutes and then a quick 3 and out. I'd like to see the Seahawks continue their momentum, really just continue to drive their opponents into the ground.
So they'll actually mark. Excuse me for the interruption.
No
They'll
worries.
actually mark it around the 35-yard line.
Oh, that makes sense, because it's where the ball crosses the plane, not necessarily
Right.
where it hits the ground. So the referees must have spotted it cross the line a little sooner. So actually, really great field position for them.
Those kind of calls are why you see us up here in the booth rather than on the field in the zebra suits. So Larson's still at quarterback. They're really trying him out today.
I mean,
And-
with the performance so far, I don't see why not. Give him
Can't be
some.
mad.
Oh,
And just wrong word at the wrong time there. An interception off of Rex Larson's ball. Big return here from Lonnie Kenny.
bit of a caster's curse there.
Huge play there by the Redhawks. Now well within the red zone of the Seahawks, coming off of a 3 and out, and the punt. The Redhawks getting their offense right back out onto the field. Unfortunate that you had to say that.
Exactly.
So-
I was about to applaud him for his great play, give him some time to develop a new quarterback, and then just an unfortunate throw. I saw the play in the mind. There was the Anacortes receiver down there, but just wasn't quite on target.
And with that being said, I mean, the possession has changed in about 17 seconds. I mean, we're still extremely early in this game. It's not like he doesn't have time to make up for those kind of mistakes.
And honestly, I'm not that worried. From what I've seen so far, I'm looking to at least see a stop on the touchdown. They might get a field goal here, but like I said, defensive line has just been crazy good from our Seahawks. So
Coming right through the blockers there was Garrett Bickley, alongside an assisted tackle from Tony Rios, who came from the outside there on a blitz.
Really good defensive stop. And like I said, I'm surprised that they just keep trying to hammer this run game through. Like it's not working down the center. I expect if they try to go for a run style offense, they might go for like a screen or maybe a play action around the side. But it seems like they like to run it down the center, and the Seahawks, I think, like it too. So
we'll see if they try to make any adjustments.
Play action, there's the screen.
Yeah. A decent game there, maybe a few yards, but a third down and still some yardage to go will be what the Redhawks face here after the reception.
Yeah, and that was a good play, and I think they're slowly working back up to maybe getting their air game back on. I think that was a screen is a nice mix between a running play and a passing play, so they got that off, and it gave them a good solid 5 or 6 yards, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go for something similar like that again, a play action screen, or maybe a deep ball into the end zone or something like that. So
I think one thing that's important for teams, especially on offense, is if you can really get one aspect of your offense rolling super well, then everything else is going to come easily. As we see a trick play here, running
great
well
tackle
within
by
the
Joe.
5-yard line here for a first down. But yeah, still could have ended up in the end zone if not for Cutter, who's been all over the field thus far today.
And there was that play action hook run that I was talking about. I am impressed. It's like their coach is in my head.
Do you have a secret mic?
I know exactly. They're listening to me. They went for the screen and then for the hook run. I think that was a great idea. They're still obviously not too confident in their passing game, so they want to run the ball on the ground, but they've discovered that running it straight down the center just isn't going to work. So great adaptation by their coaching staff and their quarterback, and I'm curious to see if they can convert this into points.
Now they'll just go for the straight throw, well over the head of number 11. That's Josh Davis, and
he looked a little rush on that throw there. I think the defensive line was starting to breathe down his neck a little bit, and he felt like he needed to throw away earlier than he wanted it to, so it went a little off target.
Yeah, when he went to the ground, he was looking at the refs there, the quarterback Lawson, saying, "Hey, that's a late hit," but they didn't call it, and it's really just a testament to the pressure that Anacortes has done well so far to bring against the Redhawks. Second down here. Another motion. They're running a lot of those today.
Yeah, straight down the middle and straight into the ground. I don't think this play has worked out for them so far, and I'd be surprised if they run it again on third down. You would think like 4 yards out, like in the red zone, third down, that just a nice simple run would be your safest
just
play.
To try
but
and power it through.
Yeah, but it's just really not worked out for them so far. I think they've gotten like 4 or 5 runs or 4 or 5 yards on 4 or 5 runs.
Right.
So
not a great average.
Not a great average. So
with that being said, a couple of the trick plays they've thrown in here
exactly.
to this point in the game have worked. So I'm interested to see what they do try here on third down. It looks like a similar setup, and we'll see what they do. They will fake this time. Looks like Lawson might try to run it, and he's met quickly by Tony Rios. Gives a quick flex there. Justified after a great play there by the junior Rios.
Yeah, I think the defensive line has just got their number a little bit. You see, they almost got the quarterback tackled about 5 yards back there, almost wrapped around on the ankles. So it's breakthrough after breakthrough. And I think one of the reasons why they're not going for many of these passes is because they know they just can't protect their quarterback. He's throwing them high, he's throwing them wide, just because there's nothing he can do. So they might just be kind of pigeonholed into this run game that obviously isn't working very well, and so their offense might be a little stunted there. I definitely would like to see maybe a coaches meeting or something, figure something out, maybe break this Anacortes defensive line.
Still, they will have an opportunity to get on the board, and a little short goes the attempt from Botkin there. So a 7-0 game here after the Redhawks' second try at moving down the field offensively. The Seahawks will get the ball back. And this time it is sort of close to their end zone. Not terrible field position, but obviously not like the first drive.
Yeah, not as good as the last couple drives. Regardless of turnovers, I think the offense has been really good so far. So it'll definitely be a test here. They have to go basically the full length of the field.
Right.
So I definitely would like to see a nice diversity of plays and some good ones associated with each. Like I want to see a good run, maybe a good quarterback sneak, and really see what this freshman quarterback can do. This will be a good test for him here.
And now that they've gained the lead, you've got to wonder how their offensive system might shift to maybe lean more on the run game. Now that they've formulated a lead, we know it's still just the first quarter. So they don't want to be too safe as an incompletion there off of some good coverage by the Redhawks. Hayden John really didn't have much of a chance off of that throw.
Yeah, the throw was a little behind, but Hayden John was double teamed there. I think the Redhawks are starting to realize kind of the receivers they need to watch out for. Hayden John and Joe Cutter being the primary targets out there on the side.
Yeah, so far the Redhawks defensive backs haven't performed terribly. Obviously, they gave up a passing touchdown, but other than that, it really has been the front four that's allowed Shu to move forward and give the Seahawks that momentum that then allows them to open up the passing game. As we see a run here, this time, what do you know? The exact opposite of what I just tried to claim went ahead and happened there. Might actually be a loss of yardage right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 3rd and long here. I'm curious to see what kind of play they go for, and this would kind of be that momentum I was talking about earlier. This is kind of a bit of a stop. The offense, they threw an interception, and now maybe a 3 and out here. This is kind of maybe a little bit of a defeatist mindset here. Like you get those 2 kind of bad drives in a row. You're like, rookie quarterback, maybe might not be so confident.
And they will go ahead and run it here. This time Shu gets much more than the last play, but still well short of a first down. Grabs about 5 on that affair, and a 4th and 5 coming up here. They will elect to punt here.
Yeah, you see the special teams coming out.
And I think something that the coaches are probably going to want to keep in mind, and fans as well, is that those kind of situations later down the line, we're probably going to hopefully see Larson try to air it out a little more and see what he's made of, even just as a freshman.
Yeah. And I'd be really disappointed if they subbed him out after these 2 drives, because maybe you're thinking like, oh, he's had a couple bad things, interception, things like that. Maybe we put Joe in, just secure a lead, stuff like that.
Fumble there on the ball. Looks to be recovered pretty
the
easily,
Redhawks.
Actually by the guy who just let it loose. That's Lonnie Kenny, who had a great interception that he brought back into the Seahawks red zone. But other than that, hasn't been a huge part of the game for the Redhawks, which is interesting considering the kind of playmaker he's been for them thus far, especially defensively.
Yeah. Back to what I was saying, it's like I would be very disappointed if they subbed out the rookie quarterback for Joe, and kind of that mindset like, hey, we should just like secure a lead, maybe 21 zip, and then we sub him back in just for that safety net. But I would really like to see him get some consistent playing time and some pressure playing time, because when you're in the lead that much, you're not super worried about what you're doing, and maybe you're more willing to make mistakes that might hurt your game in the long run. So I'd like to see them keep him in for the duration of the half, maybe see what he's got up his sleeve.
Decent run there from Anson Jones on the first down play. Grabbed about 4. 6 to go here, which is kind of what you're looking for on a first down run. If you can get 4 or 5 yards, that puts you in a decent position coming into second down.
It puts you in a spot where you can threaten that same run again, because those kind of runs are meant to be
aired out this time by Lawson into double coverage. Who else is there but Joe Cutter? He's been a ball hawk thus far.
Exactly.
And an incompletion is the expected outcome and the reality of that play. So a third down and medium coming up for the Redhawks.
Yeah, and now 6 yards is a little bit out of the range of those kind of power down the center runs. So getting that first down run, or that first down run that got them the first 4 yards was really nice to kind of set up their playbook. But now that they're third and medium, they kind of have to go for maybe a trick play over the side.
Nice call. And who is it? Once more, the junior Tony Rios. He's
defensive
been incredible.
Monster.
He's been a great tackler there on the outside for the Seahawks thus far in the game. And once more, coming up with a defensive stand, a good trick play as Mason was able to pick out. But it won't result in any positive yardage. And we're seeing another punt here. So possibly, as opposed to what Mason and I were kind of predicting early in the game, we're seeing mostly a defensive game thus far, besides the early points from Anacortes, which there's no harm in. I mean, we'd love to see some offense, but
he's going to let that one roll out into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, that's a good call by Baldwin, the senior, because it did end up rolling in. But
those can be a little dangerous.
From the 15-yard line,
those can be a little dangerous.
That could bounce any way. That pigskin
Footballs
ball
are notoriously touchy. But luckily it rolled out the back, so that was good. Starting on the 20, I think almost their worst starting field position so far on these 3 drives.
And interestingly enough, we're seeing they started at the 44. They were able to go down and score.
Slowly
they
going
started
back.
at the 30. They get an interception, and then they get a 3 and out on the 20. They're trying to change that and get some different mojo. As we actually see quickly here, as Larson's calling the play, on the sideline, Tony Rios, after making that tackle, is down, and he looks to be pretty hurt there. Incompletion off the hands of Carson Ports.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not a good sign.
If this Seahawks offense can't get rolling, it's really going to be on him and the defense to really put the nail in this game. So if one of the star defensive players is out, then this defensive side of the game might start to swing in the Redhawks' favor.
If he can't make it back, which right now, judging by granted, I'm pretty far away. I can't exactly make out the grimaces on his face, but it doesn't look good.
Football injuries are Never good.
If he's not able to come back in, you've got to wonder how much of a hole that leaves for the Redhawks to try and take advantage of.
Puts a lot of responsibility on the offense. Get some points, give your defense some breathing room. What a run.
Big run there by Jake Shue. Easy 10, 11, maybe 12 yards, and
Yeah,
a first
first
down
down.
with it.
First down in a while.
Yep.
I think it's been at least 3 drives since we've seen a first down.
Coming back down to the earth are
Yeah.
the Seahawks here. Hopefully getting back in a rhythm. But, those kind of breakaway runs from Jake Shue are going to be vital if this offense wants to propel forward and take a more commanding lead than they've gathered.
Yeah, get some of their momentum back, some of their confidence.
Larson will take the snap from the shotgun here. And they'll just keep it rolling here with Shue. He gets a cut outside. He's past the 50-yard line into Redhawk territory. Down the sideline goes Jake Shue. He's going to go all the way. They're not going to catch him, folks. What a run by Jake Shue from their own 32-yard line. I don't know how great your math is off the bat, but that's a long run to anyone.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They said it worked in the last one. We got 10, 12 yards. Let's run it again. And this time he goes all the way. So great run by Jacob Shue there.
Huge play by the junior who's been a staple for this team since his freshman year, but now really coming into it is Jacob Shue. And we're seeing the Anacortes Seahawks cashing in on his abilities. Still in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like we should be much later.
There's been so
into
many
the game.
possession changes.
So Nelson will take the extra point attempt, try to put the Seahawks up 14-0, and that'll go through.
Nice.
So there you have it. I mean, this game has been up and down, tipsy-turvy.
Not quite as how we thought it was going to go after the first drives,
No.
but
but now it's kind of coming back.
now it's coming
to that.
back. Yeah, the offensive momentum is hopefully back. We said that we were like, oh, they're building momentum, and then interception 3 and out. So you never know. The highs are high and the lows are low. So.
But I mean, it just goes to show, and this is why I love watching football, is that I mean, things can change at any time,
Exactly.
and especially momentum. You get a quick score like that. And now the Redhawks, I mean, they've got a little pit in their stomach because now they're down 2 scores, and offensively they haven't been able to generate much.
Yeah, both of the scoring drives have been, I mean, this one was, 3-4 plays, and the last one was less than 4 minutes. So when they get on a roll, they really get it done fast. So
yeah, the Seahawks, contrary to what you were kind of hoping to see early in the game, they haven't really been able to extend these drives. Not that we're complaining, obviously, but we're seeing similarities between today's game and the others that we've been able to watch, because the Seahawks to this point in the game have been kind of a big play team, and it's working. But the other side of it is, if you want to keep your offense on the field and not even give them a chance, then you're going to want to keep the ball for longer. Of course, the formula for that would normally be running the football, but they're getting big plays on that too. So what can you do, really?
Really well.
Return here from Logan Massey will bring the Redhawks out to about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and the Anacortes defense back on the field again. Like with the big play offense style, it also just tires out your defense. Like if you're running the ball like that and throwing deep balls, and your offense is only on the field for 3 minutes a drive, 4 minutes a drive, your defense is on the field for 10, 12 minutes a quarter.
Seeing some words thrown between players here.
Oh no!
Bit of a scuffle, and
teammates pulling each other off.
I mean, it may be a product of the scoreboard for the Redhawks' frustration, as we see a flag coming out here, or maybe some words were chirped by one of the Seahawks. We don't actually know for sure, but the refs able to calm this down before it escalated too far.
An unsportsmanlike conduct on one of the teams. And I mean, you saw after the interception, like there was a big like pop off and flex, and after some of the tackles, there's been some chest bumps and some gloating and things like that. Maybe taking exception to some of the things that have been done throughout the game. And I mean, when you're losing 14-0 in the first quarter and on an 0-3 kind of stretch, maybe the frustrations get to you. So
with that being said, nothing proves the words of the opposing team wrong better than being able to come up with a scoring drive and put some points in their face. So we'll see if the Redhawks use that flag as motivation to kind of pick their offense up and get something going here.
And the flag was on the Redhawks, so 15 yards back there.
That's a big loss for them.
They had really great starting field position, and now back at their own 20, just as if it was a touchback. So got the whole length of the field to go, and we'll see what they can do.
And the other thing I think it's important to note, as you were talking about how the offense isn't really staying out there too long for the Seahawks, this is high school football, and a lot of the starters are both on the defense and the offense. They're the same players. Nice tackle there by a handful of Seahawks. Just crowded that runner quickly. But, it's easy to get tired when you're playing both sides of the ball.
Exactly. And, I mean, it's a small team from Port Townsend, and having one of their players, 44, now on the sidelines after that scuffle, I mean, he was one of their big players. He was the first target of the game.
Yeah.
And now maybe he's not getting as much time as he should, and tiring out some of the other players on Port Townsend, continuing to worsen their chances.
So a second and still pretty long coming up here for the Redhawks. Another motion play. Gosh, that's pretty much all they've been running so
Fumble.
far. This time,
Pick back up.
moving around in the backfield was Logan Massey, and he was able to stay on his feet longer than probably either of us would have been able to against those
probably more than he should have.
Those front seven, but
I'm surprised he picked it up so well.
Another loss, it looks to be for the Redhawks.
Their run game is just getting absolutely dominated right now. Like I said, I'm surprised they continue to go for this. I know their passes haven't been the best, but at least it's something. I mean, they're just hemorrhaging yards with these plays, like right down the middle. You saw even the play action hook run out to the side. I mean, there was 4 or 5 Seahawks there to tackle the one guy. They're just getting away from blocks so easily that I'm surprised with the runs they chose. So that'll be the end of the first quarter here. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the second quarter.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And Pretzel Crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza. At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No test or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Hawks 14-0. It's been a pretty dominant game so far. The Redhawks haven't gotten much done except for a nice defensive interception, and now they have the ball. Ooh, there's a flag.
And you see the Red Hawk tapping his head there, so it looks like it's probably going to be a false start.
Yep, false start. Redhawks 5 yards back, and now after a couple plays and that personal foul penalty, they're all the way back to the 10, the 5?
10-yard line.
10.
Yeah. So
Third and 20.
Yeah. Staring down the barrel of a very long gun.
Yes.
That doesn't look super happy.
If they don't get some yards here, I mean, their fourth down punt is going to be probably to the 50.
Yeah,
I mean, Anacortes has a great opportunity to extend their lead even farther. So you see, they go for a long ball to try to get some big yards, but it doesn't work out. The defensive line breaks through again. The quarterback gets pressured, and he throws a bad ball. I mean, there's nothing you can do there. So a bit frustrating here for the Redhawks.
Lawson, the starting quarterback for the Redhawks, has not had more than maybe 3 or 4 seconds to throw.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is due to them calling these play actions that the Seahawks, since they're getting through the line so easily, that's kind of an added time before the quarterback even has an opportunity to try and throw.
You see Seahawks number 43 almost broke through and blocked the punt there. Like, he just ran straight through that offensive line.
Jacob Baldwin met hard by a couple of Redhawks after some
and there's a flag on
yards
the play.
gained, but yeah, well, I'm interested to see what this call is.
Maybe calling off the flag. The ref was waving his arms in the air, so maybe declining the penalty. We'll see. He's talking to the head ref here.
Well, whatever the call may be, the Seahawks
Great
offense will be back out on the field here, and looks as though Larson will be starting at quarterback here in the second quarter, which is a good thing to see. Definitely makes for an entertaining afternoon if they keep him there.
Yeah.
Try to get some reps for this freshman, and you know, you would like to see maybe a little more defensive pressure to kind of see what he does in throwaway situations.
Yeah, I want to see what happens when his pocket collapses and when he has to throw on the move. We've only really seen some runs and some nice passes from him, but I want to see him under pressure some more, see what he's made of. So I'm happy he's still in the game. I was kind of worried after the couple bad drives that they would get nervous and sub him out, but I'm really happy to see what he can do.
So on a 1st down and 10 from the 46-yard line of the Seahawks, Rex Larson will take the snap, and on the play action throw a quick slant. Nice ball there, as Mason said, to Carson Ports. He'll grab his first reception of the night, and it's good enough for about 15, a first down at least.
I mean, 15's a big play, but I like the fact that they didn't go for a deep ball or maybe a long run there. Really shows the diversity and the threat of their offense. You see the throw again, just an absolute bullet.
And the other thing is that wasn't even bad coverage. That was pretty tight coverage from Josh Davis there.
Yeah.
So Carson Ports coming up with a great catch off of a great throw.
Yeah, really happy to see that play coming up from the Seahawks.
Going in motion there is the tight end Braden Thomas, just a sophomore in his second season here with the Seahawks. And Larson is going to line up to throw again, and he's got a completion to the other quarterback who we'd normally see be making those throws. That's Joe Cutter, able to get a couple yards after the catch and run down to about the 25-yard line.
And last time we were commending the Redhawks for their tight coverage, but Joe Cutter just kind of stood there and waited for that ball to show up. All the defenders around him were just standing in shock. Oh my gosh, the ball's coming to him. What do we do?
Yeah, the kind of zone coverage play there by the Redhawks leads to another big play for the Seahawks. And once again, knocking on the door of Port Townsend is the home team. See if Larson can't get another possibly passing touchdown to boost his stats.
These have all been great throws from him so far. Aside from that interception, I think his passing has been amazing. And now he's pressured in the pocket. What's he going to do?
Little out of the hands of Jake Shue there. But, yeah, as you said, that's the first time we've seen really more than one Port Townsend kid have a chance to come at him. And
I still think that was a great throw. I think he had great vision down the field, and he was on the move. And the throw was maybe a little off, but I think it was still in the right area, and he had the right mindset. So really impressed with that throw and that play, and I would like to see more.
As we see here, a shot of the cheerleaders, you'll notice in their hair they're all wearing orange for their ponytails, and we've also got orange balloons lining the stands for the Seahawks in solidarity with one of the Anacortes High School juniors who was recently diagnosed with leukemia. So a sad week it's been in Anacortes. But hopefully some happiness can be shed on the situation, and the Seahawks can grab a win here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 15-yard penalty. Be first down repeated and 25-yard line.
Well, looks as though we've missed the penalty there.
It seems to be a personal foul or something like that. That's the only thing that would be 15 yards. So
puts him back at the 40.
Don't know quite what went on there, but now we're looking at 1st and 25. I mean, with the throws and the plays they've been doing, I wouldn't put it past him to get this through, but still a tall order. They go for the run here to Jake Shue, and he's got space.
Gets past one, couple spin moves.
Oh my goodness!
And he's moving
he
forward
just keeps
here
going
to about the 36-yard line. Excuse me, 26-yard line. Jake Shue. I mean, when you can run the ball that well, that's really
what's
amazing.
The point of even passing when you see your runner do a spin move and he's got 3 guys around him and he keeps going for another 5 yards? I mean, I thought he was down like 10 seconds ago and then he just ran it.
Able to cut outside there. We see Jake Shue off of some strong blocks from the Seahawks.
You see that spin move. He's got 4 guys around him and then he goes for another 5 yards. What great running.
So now a second, still long, but much more manageable off of a great first down run from Shue. And Larson will take the snap. They'll just stay with it. Why not? Jake Shue, another spin move.
Oh, my goodness.
Now to the 17, maybe 18-yard line and into the Red Raider end zone. Excuse me, red zone. Getting a little ahead of myself. Hopefully we're there soon enough. But for now, they're just in the red zone. Had to correct myself. And 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 maybe coming up.
We've been complimenting the defensive line from the AHS Seahawks this entire night, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the members are also on the offensive line, making this running game just absolutely insane. I mean, Jake Shue's got some great moves, but you also see just the massive holes and running lanes that he's got to run through. I mean, the AHS blockers are just bowling over the Redhawks.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some sizable kids on there, especially the sophomore returner Garrett Bickley, who's put on some serious weight during the offseason, and he's their biggest offensive lineman. Now floating to the end zone.
Oh my goodness, is that in?
Ooh, that's a big catch by Joe Cutter. Normally, like we said, he'd be the one throwing that ball, but now he's catching it. Beautiful ball there from the freshman.
Ball drops right in, back corner. There's nothing that cornerback can do about that. What a great throw. I mean, that was incredible.
Strong reception too to be able to get his feet down there.
I mean, you saw him looking back the whole way. He knew where he was going. He didn't need to see. He just caught the ball, tapped his toes, and that's a touchdown. I thought that was overthrown, if I'm honest. I was like, oh, but then it was absolutely perfect. I'm in awe of that throw. That was so good.
And now at what looks to be a 21-point lead, which is
3 for 3 on extra points.
I mean, this still in the first half here. They've scored the same amount of points that they put up against Nooksack Valley when they lost in an overtime battle. So the offense has really been strong here early on for the Seahawks, continually making big plays in the air and on the ground game.
I mean, they had that hiccup about halfway through the first quarter, but I mean, if you see that last drive, like they had a 15-yard penalty and then just had 3 or 4 just huge plays. It just didn't matter. They're making 8 yards minimum per play, and it's just really dominant offense here from the Seahawks.
It's definitely hard to stop a team from scoring when you really can't hold them past second down.
Yeah,
even on the rare occasions when a third down does come up, they convert very well.
Mm-hmm.
Back to receive the kickoff for the Redhawks.
Another kickoff here for the Seahawks, and the Redhawks will have a chance to score again. Haven't had the game they would have hoped to this point, but still plenty of time in this matchup to get on the board and start rolling here offensively.
I mean, they've shown some flashes, like the interception. They've had some offensive plays that looked good. So I would not be surprised if they start to get something going and maybe make this game a little bit more competitive. But so far, it's just all Seahawks. So we'll see. A bit of a short kick here, down to 25.
Good return here for the Redhawks. Get to around the 34-yard line before he's brought down. I think one of the big keys, if the Redhawks can get their affairs in order on the offensive line and get Lawson a little more time to throw these balls, and also to get the run game opening up, obviously, I think that would be a big aid to the Redhawks, because their ability to push the ball down the field is really being kind of blocked by Anacortes' ability to get 3 or 4 guys into the face of Lawson within 3 or 4 seconds.
I mean, they're getting through the offensive line to stop the run, and then they're getting through to pressure the quarterback, which means they can't throw it either. So there's really just nothing going on because the pocket breaks down so fast. So, and that was a successful run. That was a successful maybe 5-yard run on first down. I mean, he went straight down the middle, and that's what they've been trying to do all night, and it seems to work out there a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe this is the start of something for the Redhawks.
That's Logan Massey with the carry, who just also grabbed the kickoff. He's been a pretty big factor in the game thus far.
I mean, they've been handing him the ball every other play, so.
This is true. And again, we see a motion here. This time it's just going to be a straight throw. And an interception. That's one of the easier interceptions we've seen
you can see
to date.
They just don't really have confidence in their air game. Like, it looked to be not only a bad throw, but just a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver. He was looking to throw probably 3 or 4 seconds before the route was even finished by the receiver. So maybe they just weren't on the same page. I don't know quite what happened, but all the throws from the Redhawks today have ended in disaster, whether that be quarterback pressure or just poor communication between the receivers and the quarterback. So kind of unfortunate with this one-dimension offense. But
big play there from the junior Liam Ufkis, who hasn't seen a ton of time on the field throughout the season, but
getting his
able to make his presence known there with an interception. So now each quarterback with a pick under their belt. And Larson's going to air this out one straight to Ports. Unable to make an adjustment. Little far to the right was the throw from Larson. Wow, I'm surprised they just went for it immediately there. Didn't even try to get their feet planted, just going for it. Had the throw been a little closer to Ports, he had the defender beat, so
sure.
I think that would have been a touchdown. But
and that would have been just so utterly crushing for the Redhawks. I mean, you give away an interception, and then one play later they score, and now your offense is thinking, we have to go back on the field again. Like, you serious? Like, that would just be absolutely demoralizing for a team. So,
having said that, it is 2nd and 10 off the incompletion. So the Redhawks
might be able to put something together here defensively. So you never know.
Need to put some pressure on Larson if they want to unveil something. So we see a
great tackle.
There you go.
You see Hayden John. He's known for his speed, and those screenplays can be really dangerous. If he breaks that tackle there, that's probably a 10-yard play. But you saw him just get wrapped up there, and that one guy took him out really nicely. So great defensive play there by the Redhawks, and it's 3rd down, which we haven't seen from the Seahawks in probably a quarter. So we're going to see that play again. You see the screen there, and that one guy, you see he had blockers for everybody else, but that guy took him out. So a great tackle.
Yeah, Logan Massey for the Redhawks making plays on both sides of the ball, as are a handful of the Seahawks. But I think for the Redhawks, the key is going to be not allowing the Seahawks to get into open field situations. Even though Shu, in a very tight hole, is able to grab a huge gain there.
He doesn't quite get the first down, but that's still just an amazing run from Jake Shu. He broke 3 or 4 tackles there and just running with people around his waist. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just, in the future, just give him the ball a couple times and see what happens.
Looks as though the offense going to stay out here for 4th down, which I can't say I'm super surprised at.
Can't fault them. I mean, you're up 21. It doesn't really matter if they get the ball here because it's not very good field position for them. And I mean, with how your offense is trending, I would not be surprised if they get the first down here.
Larson will take a high snap, roll out left, looking for a throw near the sideline, a little too low for Carson Porch there, so that 4th down is going to be a no-go. However, a flag is on the field. We'll see if this is in the favor of the Seahawks and gives them an opportunity to keep the ball moving here.
Yeah, and you saw that the pocket collapsed there rather quickly. I was kind of surprised with how easily the Redhawks got into Rex Larson's face. But it was still a good throw and a good play. It just seemed like it broke down a little too fast. Oh, it's a penalty on the Seahawks, but it's declined. It's still 4th down. Or not 4th down. It's still Redhawks ball. So now the defense comes back on the field again for Anacortes, and I mean the Redhawks offense needs to get something going. It's been 3 out, and turnovers, so I would like to see some life breathed into this offense. Maybe get a successful completion on a throw or a run down the center that works out, and maybe get something on the board.
Definitely. Seeing some new faces here defensively for the Seahawks. Some of those offensive starters finally getting a break and not having to play continuous. As a broken tackle we see here from the Redhawks, and moving forward, good downhill running from the Redhawks. Gerald Lindsey with the play there, and it's enough for a 1st down. Their first in a while, so
yeah,
moving forward here.
That's what we're looking for. I mean, that was a great successful run, and if they can get their run game going, it seems to be their bread and butter. So if they can get that weapon kind of on the field, then I think that might make the Redhawks a pretty dangerous offensive force. So we'll see if the Seahawks maybe change up their defensive formation to shut that down, because it's obvious their pass game hasn't been super online. So looks like a timeout. I don't know what the delay of game was there.
I think just getting the play clock figured out there.
Got it.
So they'll run it again here.
Same area.
Same guy, same result.
Another 11-yard run. Looks to be like they got something going, and they maybe have found their groove a little bit. So we'll see how the Seahawks react and see if the Redhawks can keep this going. I mean, this has been really the only life we've seen from this offense in a while. So they must be feeling pretty good about that, and we'll see if the Seahawks can shut that down.
Haven't seen a lot of Gerald Lindsey for the Redhawks up until now, but back-to-back big runs there for Lindsey, and now he'll go in motion.
Oh, looks like a fumble.
Snap here. Who fell on it? Seahawks obviously are pointing the fingers in their direction, and with the claps, it looks as though it'll be Anacortes' ball.
And I mean, that looks so good for the Redhawks. Yeah. They finally got something going, and then it all comes crashing down. That's another turnover.
Really unfortunate for Port Townsend.
And I mean, they're like all their confidence, their excitement, like it's just all gone. So we'll see that play again. The snap, and it looks like one of the linemen just immediately jumped on it because it didn't really even get out of the center's hands. I think he must have like scraped it on the ground or maybe hit his leg or something, because it just kind of dropped right in front of the line. So
impressive reaction time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Great heads-up play
to get there.
Yeah,
so quickly, because as you said, that was really right in front of the center still for Port Townsend. But as a read option we see here, and Larson will just take a slide, doesn't want to get too cocky in his ability to run.
If I'm honest, I was looking at Jake's shoe there. Yeah. I was like, oh, another good run.
Nice.
And I was like,
it was a nice fake there.
That was a great fake. I was part of the joke. So
and I think Larson overall is definitely a more throw-first guy.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him keeping the ball in his own hands as compared to Cutter, who basically has a 50-50 split for Jake Shue as who's going to run the ball this play. But that time it worked out fairly well, and they picked up 6 off of Larson's run. So a second and quite manageable here for Anacortes.
And I think that might actually be like a good thing for Anacortes if they can get these two quarterbacks kind of working in synergy with each other. Maybe they're looking for more throw-heavy offense, so they put in a Rex, and then maybe if they want some more athleticism from Joe,
and a flag coming out. We'll see if it's pass interference.
It looked like pretty tight man coverage, so
that would be a huge play, and that would move the Seahawks forward.
Yeah, into the red zone. We'll see what the call is.
But yeah, as compared to the last game where we saw Joe Cutter.
Yep, there it
you
is.
Go. As compared to the last game against Nooksack, where we saw Joe Cutter, especially in the first half, kind of a little more hesitant to throw these balls. I mean, Larson is just shooting them out of his arm
he's done
relentlessly.
3 or 4 long balls in a row, and I mean, they've worked out for him. They've all been really good throws. I mean, he had that one interception in the first quarter. That was his really first long ball, and I was kind of worried that he would lose confidence in his throwing after that. But I mean, he threw great touchdowns, some absolute bullets for 10, 15 yards plays. So really happy with his throwing so far.
So we see the tight end Brady Thomas now coming in for the Seahawks. Yeah, if that mistake from Larson, the interception, as you were saying, isn't out of his mind, it's definitely in the back of it because he's made great plays since then. And that faked out the defense. Nice.
And here's another deep ball.
Carson Ports.
Oh,
they're not going to call it.
Didn't
have possession of the ball there. But wow, a great play set up by the Seahawks. I mean, Larson was alone in the backfield there. The Redhawks were clearly faked out by that one. Unfortunately, Carson just wasn't able to receive it as well as we might have hoped.
Still, I mean, an impressive play, and I like what I'm seeing. I mean, they've got great vision down the field, and he had the defender beat. The throw was just a little off, but that's a tough throw to make. I mean, we saw that one to Cutter in the end zone, and that was just perfection, and that's what it had to be to make that touchdown.
Right.
So I'm happy to see they're continuing to go for him, and it seems to be a good weapon for them to use in the future.
When you get so close to the sidelines, there's not as much room for error.
Not at all. And I mean, it was so close. Ooh.
This time a throw to Braden Thomas. He's got a lane toward the end zone, and he's got the speed. Redhawks did not have the angle there. My goodness, the Seahawks just continuing to beat down this Redhawk defense. Every time you think they've maybe got him on the ropes, Rex Larson and whoever is receiving the ball on the other side make a play for the Seahawks.
Great blocks here. He's got room to run, and he was just subbed in. I mean, 2 plays ago, and now he's got a touchdown. So,
yeah, good on the Seahawks for spreading the ball so well throughout their lineup. A touchdown to Cutter, a touchdown to Hayden John, and now one to Braden Thomas.
Really makes you rethink yourself as a defense. You're like, oh, you got the threats pinned, but now you see what these other guys can do, and you might be a little more worried about double teaming someone like Hayden John. Ooh. Missed extra point, the first one of the night, but I think it's still impressive kicking here from Caleb Nelson.
Well, I was just going to say that's a new face actually out on the field.
Exactly.
That's Connor Cunningham.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate.
So not perhaps the debut of the day that he'd like to see for himself, but nevertheless, a 27-point lead.
Points we don't need, and you might as well give newer guys some time out in the field. I mean, there's no replica for that in practice. So, yeah, even if you fail now, I mean, it's okay.
Redhawks trying to keep this game competitive. It hasn't been to this point in the game as competitive as they would like to see. But as you've said in the past, Mason, they've had sparks of looking good, and especially on that previous drive.
Exactly.
I mean, they had 2 great runs back-to-back before the botched snap from the center ended up costing them 6 points.
That's what it seems to be. It seems like they're not playing necessarily poorly. It's just they're these little errors that they can't, these little loose ends that they can't quite tie up, you know.
Right.
Like just a botched snap or just one poor throw for an interception, and just maybe poor formation on the offensive line, and their quarterbacks getting surrounded, things like that. Just these small errors are absolutely crushing their offensive.
Right into the hands of none other than Logan Massey, who's running to the far side of the field, gets a stiff arm off, and then trips up himself. But good return there.
Yeah,
Put the Redhawks in pretty decent field position past the 40-yard line.
The best field position they've been in all day. So hopefully they can get something going here. I mean, it's usually not good to root for the other team, but I'd like to see something out of the Redhawks here.
Right. Winding down here in the first half. I personally am really excited to reveal some of the highlights that are at this point that look to be mostly Seahawk plays during our halftime breakdown of the game so far, because we've seen some really amazing plays by both, Jake Shue, Rex Larson, and then
that
of course
throw to Joe Cutter for that's
touchdown. Been his best ball of the night easily.
For sure.
Couple broken tackles here for the Redhawks runner.
And it's that left side hook run that they've gone to. It's the third time in a row. I mean, they went for that the first two, and they got 2 first downs.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, the third time they had that fumble. But they go to that play again, and, I mean, they got 6 yards. So the Seahawks responded to it better than they have in the past. But still seems to be an effective weapon here for the Redhawks. And maybe they can get something going with it. I'd be surprised if they go for it for the 4th time, though. It seems to be a bit much for the same play, but you never know.
You're reading my mind here, Mason. But again, we see this motion,
and
this time Massey's going to get it on the far side, and the hustle play by the Seahawks doesn't work. They can't get to him quick enough. Moving forward. Wow, big play there by Logan Massey. And
breaking some tackles. He had great speed there. I was surprised. Over on the side there, and I mean, they kind of faked out the Anacortes again. They were like, hey, we're going to do the exact same play again. There's some play action there, but they went up the other side. I mean, it's not that different of a play. You see the fake handoff, and then he's just off to the races. He breaks that one tackle, and it's just gone.
And, that's just a sign of the speed that Massey brings, because Cleveland Gilchrist, he had the angle to get him possibly behind the line of scrimmage, but he couldn't get there quick enough.
Couldn't quite wrap up his ankles.
And we see a toss here. This is the big running back who's taken down immediately by Liam Ufkus, making his second big play of the night there.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you get the attention of the coaches. An interception, then a huge tackle behind the line of scrimmage. I mean,
and that's not an easy guy to tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big guy.
Standout game here from Liam Ufkus.
In Anson Jones, who was kind of their primary runner early in the first quarter, but now they've really started to get this sort of hybrid model going, where a lot of different guys are taking snaps, which is a good energy conserver and has proved as of late to be pretty effective.
Decently effective, yeah. I think it's just for the Seahawks to decide which way are they going. Oh, they're going for a throw.
Finally, we see a throw, and this time it's picked off. That's Noah Hunter. He's got a lot of green field ahead of him. Trying to make a couple cuts back. Still on his feet here, Noah Hunter.
No.
Oh, what a huge play.
Run from
not
him.
only the interception, but bringing it back toward the 10-yard line, maybe the 11 of the Redhawks, goes Noah Hunter.
And, I mean, it's just what we've talked about. Like, it's the little things where they have these great drives that they open up, and then just one thing, a fumble or an interception or something like that, just absolutely ruins their drives. So.
Yeah, I mean, they were well on their way to moving downfield. And
it seemed like they had some momentum there. They had some runs, and then they try to go outside their comfort zone, go for a throw, and it just doesn't go well.
Yeah, great read there by Hunter, who, off of his big run back, puts the Seahawks at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, already in scoring territory.
I'm interested to see whether they kind of try to involve Shue a little more. They've been passing the ball.
Looks to be a timeout.
Yeah, they'll talk things over here. See what they want to do as we near the end of this first half. Just about a minute left, but that's clearly enough time for the Seahawks. When you're at the
15-yard line, you don't need much, and especially when our offense is making 10, 11-yard plays every time. It's not that big of a deal to have only a minute left. So. And Anacortes still has 2 timeouts left, but they need to stop the clock for any reason to make sure this drive goes successfully. And you see the kicker warming up in the background on the sideline, so even if things go wrong, I mean, he's been impressive all day with the extra points, so I bet he'll be able to knock one home to make it 30.
Of course, the ideal situation for the Redhawks would be get a turnover down here, and then maybe make up some big yardage like Hunter did on that last play,
make a big
and
throw.
maybe put themselves in scoring position and try to surprise the Seahawks here before the end of the first half.
And then
they'll be right back on offense, in the second half.
You'd have something to talk about in the halftime briefing. I mean, if you're the Redhawks, you're going in here and your coach is not going to be happy, and I don't think the player environment's going to be very good. But if you get at least some play off before the half, there's some hope, there's some spark, there's something to work on, there's something to work towards, and maybe you can start to get something going in the second half. And
going outside the porch here is Larson's throw, just a few yards shy of the end zone. He's pushed out of bounds.
We're going to be at about the 4 or the 3. So,
and this is the nice thing for the Seahawks is sitting just out of the 10-yard line at the 13, they can still get a first down before having to score.
Exactly.
So I think they're going to call it second and short, but I mean, they could run the ball and only pick up a yard and still have 4 new opportunities.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a throw here just so that they can use that extra down, and then they just do a nice little gimme run to give themselves more downs, even if they miss the throw.
Larson here will take the snap, and he
throw.
will look to throw in and out of the hands of
Looks like
Carson
pass
Force.
interference. He was getting bear hugged a little bit by that defender. Would not be surprised if that's what the flag is here.
We do have a flag on the play.
Not that added yardage would really change their position that much at the 4-yard line, but I'm sure they'll take what they can get, and you know, maybe if there you go. So I think that'll probably enforce it half the distance to the goal, since you can't really put it at the spot of the foul. Otherwise
exactly. It's in the end zone. So Seahawks got a new set of downs, which is nice. It's a little bit of pressure off them to make that third down. So at the 2 now. So would expect to see a run from maybe the quarterback or Jake Shue. So,
and one of the possibilities is you take a run, maybe they sit on it and try to let this clock wind out, and just to get to the locker room.
There's no chance for the Hawks.
But that's not the play they go for. Most of their guys covered pretty well.
In and out of Joe Cutter's hands.
Good defensive play there from the Redhawks. And, you know, Larson had a decent amount of time there and still couldn't find anyone. And, you know, he was able to get it out before having to take a hit. But
I think that was a fine throw. I think it was just pretty good coverage by the Hawks. And
definitely.
Maybe just unfortunate hands from Joe. But, he had a lot of time over in the pocket there. Really impressed with the offensive lineman. And I think he made the right throw. It just didn't work out quite as well as he hoped. I'm surprised they're going for so many throws, though. I mean, we've seen a lot of interceptions this game, and an interception is really the only way you don't score here. So I'm surprised they're risking it, and there it is. I think they're like, you know what, we tried enough with that. Let's just give it to Jake, let him run it.
So Shue will pick up his second touchdown of the night. Kind of the opposite sort of play from the first one, where he went 50-plus yards. On this affair, it's just a 2-yarder, but nonetheless, it's another 6 points for the Seahawks.
You see the hole he had to run through. It was just a walk in the park for him. The offensive line is doing an absolutely bang-up job here.
So they will go ahead and bring out Caleb Nelson again, this time for the extra point, to try and boost the Seahawks lead to 34, just going into the halftime. That's a heck of a lead
scoreline
to try to overcome if you're Port Townsend.
And it looks to be good. Really nice kick right down the center. Nice spin. Really good from him.
Good ball from Nelson, and with 46 seconds on the clock, I mean,
you never know.
Anything could happen.
You never know.
The Redhawks could score. We could get the ball back in the next 20 seconds. I mean, the change in possession has occurred anywhere from a 5-minute span to a 20-second span.
Exactly. And I mean the Redhawks running back Logan Massey, number 34, has been really impressive, and he's got really explosive speed, and he's broken some tackles, so you could see him making a break for it if he gets a nice running lane, he breaks a couple tackles and sends it for 60 yards. So I think that's probably the most likely opportunity they have for a scoring drive here. But
it's keeping it on the ground.
Exactly.
Definitely. And the other thing is, if Massey is able to make a big play, they have so many other running backs to choose from that he can take a breather.
He can just take a break.
He doesn't have to take all these snaps in a row, because the Redhawks have a plethora of guys they can put in behind Lawson to hand it off to.
And I mean, with how he's been running, I would not be surprised if he needs a break soon. He's been absolutely flying across the field. It looks like he's returning this ball as well, so we'll see what he can get done here.
So now switching back up the kicking situation this time. Cunningham will go ahead and take it. Low ball. Well, not really.
Great kick.
But that was a nice kick, actually. Right around the 20-yard line, it's received and brought down around the 35. Good return from Gerald Lindsay.
Good tackle, and with 39 seconds on the clock, I mean, they have 3 timeouts, so we'll see what they can really get done. But you're probably going to see a lot of runs to the outside because they're going to want to get to the out of bounds if the clock stops, because if you get tackled in bounds, the clock keeps running.
And normally you would think, well, why run it when you can just throw it towards the outside? But the throwing game hasn't been the staple for the Redhawks thus far. So, again, we see these motion plays, and they'll go ahead and run it. It's Lindsay this time. Gets free from one. Taken down quickly after one broken tackle.
And, I mean, if you're the Seahawks, you're happy with that. I mean, that's 4 yards, and it's in the center, so you see the clock winding down right now. So
Redhawks might take one more snap, but,
timeout.
There you go.
So they have to blow one of their timeouts here, stop the clock. But they did it kind of late. I mean, they still burned 9-10 seconds there.
Right.
So, but yeah, if you're the Seahawks, you're just trying to wind down the clock and get to the halftime at this point. So a tackle in the infield for 5 yards is you'll take that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely preferable to keep the Redhawks runner or whatever the case may be within the hash marks, and kind of that should be kind of your line of sight to keep them within.
I wouldn't be surprised if they keep some of their safeties and middle linebackers kind of farther back, because all you're really trying to stop are those 60, 50-yard plays, because you don't really care if they get the first down. You're not trying to tackle them within 5. You're trying to stop the touchdown, because regardless, the clock is going to stop the touchdown if they just keep going for 5-6 yard plays. So would not be surprised if they play a little bit farther back than normal.
Interestingly enough, a lot of the quote-unquote starters for the Seahawks, we know that their offensive defensive are really fluid, as are most high school teams. But a lot of the starters are not in right now. But that hasn't stopped these players from making big defensive plays. Now Lawson will take a throw. Once again, near the hands of Noah Hunter. Almost had a second pick there as Lawson was looking for Osega. Hope I'm not butchering that, but I can't make any promises.
I mean, that was great coverage by the Seahawks, but still kind of a scary ball. If that was thrown just a little bit harder, like the Redhawks receiver kind of had him beat. He was on the back foot, and if he had gotten that ball, he had a lane to run, and he was going
easily,
all the way. Yeah,
definitely.
So a little bit of a scary ball there, but still good coverage.
So on a 3rd and 6, the Redhawks will get, even with the timeouts they have left, and hoping they get a first down conversion, maybe 4 or 5 plays total from here on in. There's Noah Hunter again. Almost had one on the last play, and now he does. His second pick of the evening. Noah Hunter slicing and dicing his way to the 43-yard line for the Seahawks. I'd be really surprised if they actually went for an offensive play here instead of just maybe downing
taking a kneel.
But once again, Noah Hunter comes up with a defensive stop, and the Redhawks, they haven't really had enough time to formulate something offensively, because every time it looks as though maybe they've got something going, even though that play wasn't particularly productive from the start.
Yeah.
They had a couple good runs in there, and then the Seahawks just wave their finger and say no.
Yeah. I think they realized that they couldn't really go back to their tried and true running, because they had such little time. They needed to go for these big throws that if they're incomplete, the clock still stops. So might as well just keep throwing them. And I mean, I think they're 50% on interceptions, to incomplete. So it's obvious their game. Oh wow!
Whoa,
he's taking a knee.
I mean, that's kind of, you see the frustration we're seeing from the Redhawks there. Kyle Caldwell. The senior, and we're looking at a big fight here, possibly. Players running all over, into coaches, into other players. That is not the way you want to end the half.
Yeah.
and just numerous flags flying. Really unfortunate to see that.
I mean,
I hope, first of all, I hope Larson's okay. That was a big hit he took. He looks to be fine, but
and he's totally undefended there, where it's like everyone knows they're taking a knee, so it's not like the offensive line is paying much attention, and like it's not like Rex Larson's paying much attention either. So
that's not a question of effort or ending the half on a certain note. That's a question of sportsmanship. He was not ready
for that hit, and that's why he got right through, and that's a scary hit to take, because even if it's not a big hit, you're just not ready for it. Like when you're taking a tackle, you brace yourself and you're ready for the fall, but that was just a sucker punch. Really unfortunate.
When you, like you're saying here, that you take a knee, you don't expect to get blindsided because there's no reason for the defense to come barreling forward, and
the defense should just not do anything.
Unfortunately, that doesn't really bode well for the Redhawks and their reputation, because most of their players, they knew what the Seahawks were going to do. They didn't jump the gun or do anything crazy, but that one player now kind of makes all of the fans here look at him like, what are you doing?
What are you doing, man? Yeah, and I think he was the one who started the last fight as well, so looks to be frustrations coming to a boil. And I think with that unfortunate ending to the second half, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you for the halftime breakdown.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And pretzel crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza. At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No test or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at kennellykeysmusic.com, follow us on Facebook, or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall. Kennelly Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes.
Behind every great Anacortes club and team, there's an unspoken hero. People that get us our team gear, organize our team dinners, and support us in everything else we need. From every student athlete in AHS, thank you Saba, for the football team's two-a-day shirts, the volleyball team's warm-up gear, and everything else in between. Saba, the Seahawks Athletic Booster Association.
Each year, thousands of fantastic pictures are taken by yearbook photographers of AHS sporting events, assemblies, performing arts, and more. The best of these photos are now available to you online. Just point your browser to ahs.smugmug.com. You can download digital images or order prints right from your computer or phone with the SmugMug app. How cool is that? Support the rhododendron and your students by using ahs.smugmug.com. The Action Club is a Kiwanis club for adults with disabilities. Every second Saturday of every month, you can head to the Port of Anacortes web lockers at Seafarers Way and Q Avenue. Once there, you can recycle your computers, monitors, laptops, tablets, Kindles, portable DVD players, e-readers, and televisions. The money we collect during the e-cycle is used in several ways to benefit community service projects.
Thank you.
Bringing you back here to Rice Field at Anacortes, Washington. Michael Hanrahan alongside Mason Bakke for a really interesting first half. Kind of a dominant performance for the Seahawks, but ended on a crazy note there.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, the snap there, he took the knee, and everyone was just ready for the half to be over, and then someone just came barreling over the line, and fists were thrown, and coaches came in. It was just a really unfortunate situation. I heard some of the coaches and fans talking afterward that it was just like, you just don't hit a quarterback like that. It's bad sportsmanship, and it's just unsafe.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we'll take a look at that replay again. You see everyone's getting really heated. The referees come in immediately, and you see the benches start to creep up, and the AHS coaches flags fly.
There come the flags like cracked eggs coming out of a shell.
Yeah, no kidding. It's just you see 44. He was the one who
he kind of just ran into some coaches.
Came at the quarterback, and I don't think anyone's happy with him. It was just a really unfortunate spot. So.
Come back to us once again. We're blindsided by the camera switching.
Never letting us know.
That's all good. We'll keep it rolling here. So other than that. Really unfortunate ending to the first half.
Yeah.
It was a great performance by the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was really impressed with their offense. I was saying earlier I was kind of worried they would be a little bit one-dimensional, especially with the rookie quarterback. He had an early interception. I was worried he'd lose confidence, and they just go to the run over and over and over again. But he had some great balls, some nice balls to Cutter and Hayden John, a couple passing touchdowns, and he really got on a roll, and it was just really good. And I think we're going to go to some replays here, maybe see a couple of those plays. We can talk to you more about it.
So here off the bat, we're just seeing the opening score for the Seahawks, where Larson was able to get a play into the hands of Hayden John.
See here, there's just like that last play was just the epitome of the Redhawks passing game. It was just it was a lot of nothing. And
then there's that breakaway run.
Star of the show, Jake Shue for me.
I mean,
huge MVP on the offense for me. He's just been absolutely dominant every time they give him the ball, 8 yards plus, and he's got 2 touchdowns on the night. So
I think the way I would differentiate the impressiveness of Larson's first half as compared to Shue's is Larson's had some big plays, but I think Shue has been the more consistent force.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen more than maybe one run where he didn't achieve at least 6-7 yards.
And I mean, he's just such a constant threat. I mean, when you know that every time they have to put maybe that extra linebacker on the line, because if he gets a running lane, he's just going to go all the way. So it just puts that little bit of extra pressure on the defense to change up their formation and maybe be in a little bit of a disadvantage to the passing game, and that's what lets Rex Larson really throw some good balls. You see, the Redhawks got something going here with their running back, but then just some unfortunate plays like this interception and the fumble that really shut down all of the hope they had. It's just been a story of turnovers for them on the offensive side, so kind of an unfortunate situation for them.
I think the Redhawks' best chance of creating scoring opportunities here in the second half is going to be leaning on their run game heavily to come up with not only first downs but hopefully some touchdowns as well. And I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of just stretching the field slowly and picking up 5-6 yards on runs each play rather than running a couple times and then trying to bullet downfield and getting picked off.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting a little antsy. Like they have something going, and then they're like, okay, like we got this, our offense is fixed, and then they try to go for something a little out of their comfort zone, the throws, and then it's all over. So maybe in the second half they'll stick to what they're good at and go for just a bunch of runs in a row, and maybe just try to slowly whittle down the field with second and third downs pretty consistently. But
speaking of which, the second half will be coming up shortly, but after those first half highlights, we'll go ahead and let you loose once again. Don't go anywhere though, because we've got an interesting game to see after that crazy ending in the first
Yeah,
half.
I'm kidding.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And Pretzel Crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza. At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No tests or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Coming back to you here as we approach the second half of play with the Anacortes Seahawks facing off the visiting Portland Townsend Redhawks. Hard not to get confused with those names,
So many Hawks, yeah.
But though the names are similar, the play style and the achievements of the first half have been
very
pretty
different. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at a 34-0 game, so I don't expect this game to be super competitive, but the rest of the game will likely be just kind of a training grounds for the newer squad of the Seahawks. I mean, we saw in the second quarter a little bit, like, there was not many starters on the field for defense or offense. I mean, the freshman quarterback has been in the entire game, so it'll likely just be kind of a time for the Seahawks to really test the waters with their newer players and prepare for later, longer seasons in the future. So still important for the Hawks, not necessarily for the win, but for the development of their team.
Yeah, and on that note, I think we have to give a shout out to Rex Larson, the freshman quarterback for the Seahawks, who had a great first half, really lighting up the scoreboard and our highlight reel there.
Yeah.
Kind of making it very easy for us to come up with things to say when there's that many big plays being made by the quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm just really impressed with his, not necessarily like his just his play, but his leadership and his mental fortitude. Like, I've said this a couple times, I was really worried after those kind of big shutdowns, the 3-and-out and the interception, that, I mean, it's your debut game, you're a freshman, you're coming on for Joe Cutter, like the star player, the star senior quarterback, and maybe you're not doing so hot, and I think that gets to you. I mean, I play tennis, and that's kind of the solo singles game where you can really get in your own head as well. It's like, oh, I missed that, and oh, I missed that, or you're not as good as X person, and you can really dog on yourself there. But I was just really impressed how well he bounced back, and he got his team going, and they got the run game on, and then he had some great passing plays. So just really impressed with not just his like stats and his touchdowns, but just his general awareness and confidence in himself. So really looking forward to him in later years.
Mm-hmm. The first half, as a big product of Rex Larson's play, ended up in the hands of the Seahawks, monumentally favoring them. 34-0 was the first half score. I doubt that they'll come back and score a similar amount of points in the second half, as you were saying. But I would rather have a competitive second half where the Seahawks are forced to keep their starters in and not have an opportunity to test out their kind of secondary players. Obviously, it's good to get the younger kids reps, but with that being said, there's nothing better than a close football game to watch.
Yeah, I don't expect the Seahawks to come in and try to blow them out like 70 points. I don't think that's the goal of the second half. I think they will likely keep a lot of their second stringers in and make it competitive, not necessarily like by playing worse, but by giving their newer players and less experienced players time to play, and maybe that'll be more competitive against the Redhawks. So we'll see. The timer's winding down. We got about 10 seconds left on the break. You see the teams huddling up and getting ready to play. I think the Redhawks are receiving because the Seahawks received in the first half. So we'll see if the break gave them some time to recoup, get leveler heads. Hopefully no fights break out, and maybe get their offense rolling a little bit. Hoping to see that run game that has really been kind of their only hope get more time to develop. So we'll see what they can pull out here as the Seahawks trot onto the field.
And here they come. Pretty much all of those players have had some sort of impact thus far in the game. Not sure exactly what's going on here. This isn't really a tradition here for the second half. I'm not sure if this is because of the first half scuffle at the end, and they're going to try to work something out here. But normally you would just see a kickoff, so I'm interested to see what occurs.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It seems to just be a lineup of the starters. Maybe gonna give him a stern talking to. And curious enough, I don't see number 44, kind of the star of the show, of the fight.
He may have been ejected. I saw him take his pads off after the first half.
I think he was. I saw his pads off and his helmet off, and he looked to be escorted out not only by the refs but by his own coaches. So,
which is honestly really unfortunate. I mean, he was a big playmaker for them.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
First half,
He was the target of 3 out of their 6 throws, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously a huge playmaker for them, and it definitely looks like they're getting a talking to by the head referee there. I think that's a good idea, even though the instigator of the violence is out of the game. It's still probably good to give them a nice talk and make sure that the dangerous game of football doesn't get even more dangerous.
Right. So some applause from the limited fans we've got here in the home seats leads us to believe that, hopefully there's no bad blood and we can just carry on and finish this game out respectively.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seahawks will, like you said, Mason, kick off in the second half and try to come up with a defensive stand early. I'm definitely interested to see what the Redhawks come up with offensively.
Yeah, now that one of their big threats is out of the game, I mean, we go back to number 34, their running back.
That's Massey.
Yeah, Logan Massey. He's really been their other shining light, so I think we're going to see a lot of him. You see he's in the backfield right now to receive, so it'll look probably pretty one-dimensional, but I think that's okay. I think for what the Redhawks have shown so far, if they can consistently get first downs after 2 or 3 plays, I think that's a big improvement, and I think they should be happy with that.
And the other thing that I'm just sort of starting to notice here with Nelson taking the kickoff is
huge kick.
That was a nice bomb, actually bobbled by Logan Massey, but in the end zone it looks as though that'll just be a touchback, I suppose.
Yeah, and that was definitely the best kickoff of the night. And Caleb Nelson, he's 4 for 4 on extra points. He's had a really great night.
Yeah, big leg on Nelson.
Yeah, kickers never get enough love, no matter how much praise they get in my mind. So, always happy to point out kickers when they do well. So, Caleb Nelson, 4 for 4 on extra points, and nice kickoff there.
Can't be surprised with that statement from Mason. We do have a former soccer player in the booth here today. So some possible bias coming with this, but nevertheless I can't disagree because when you get into games, not this one in particular, but in other games that come down to shootouts when it's real close, and maybe it's up to the kicker to end the game. when a kicker can come up big for a team like that and finish a game off with a 3-pointer or maybe just an extra point, they never get enough praise for that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So
pressure's on, and I mean, we just saw Logan Massey run it down exactly as we were talking about. Just give him the ball, give him some space, and see what this offense can get done. I don't think you need to complicate it any more than that. You've had so many turnovers on interceptions and stuff like that you just want to keep it as simple as possible. Just give him the ball and hope for the best. So I think they're playing this offense right, and we'll see if they can just get some momentum going, even if they don't have quite the diversity of toolkits.
So a pitch here from a new quarterback we're seeing here in the second half. That's Lonnie Kenny for the Redhawks, playing quarterback for this possession. Not sure if that will continue or if they're just testing him out, but a change in quarterback could possibly lead to a change in momentum. We'll see. Right now, that's not a huge indication.
You got to try what you got to try. I think they're just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, because they need something. They need something right now. So I think a change in quarterback, change in leadership might be what they need. So another ball right to Logan Massey. This breaking some tackles. Oh, my goodness.
Nice run there. Yeah, strong ball from Massey. He was met early by Adrian Castro, but kept plowing forward for a few extra yards.
I thought that was a stop at 1 or 2, and then he went for 6 almost. So really good run from him.
Gave him the first down.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, you don't need to complicate it. You just need to give him the ball and see what happens. Looks like there was a dead ball called on that, and we're at 2nd and 10 now. So.
Well, not every play can be so amazing as this time. Massey gets met pretty early by Nick Fern near the line of scrimmage.
But that's to be expected now that the Seahawks kind of know that they're really not going to go for like big throws or anything like that. It's really just about the play action and the run game at this point. So the Seahawks likely adapting and making better defensive stops. So we'll see if the Redhawks can continue to keep them on their toes.
Kenny will hand it off again, and met well behind the line of scrimmage there is Gerald Lindsey. His first run of the second half, and it's negative yardage for the Redhawks.
Yeah, and now we're looking at a 3rd and long, and this is where this kind of style of offense really gets into trouble, because if you're going for those 4 or 5 yard runs every time and your goal is to get there in 3 downs or 2 downs, then now when you're suddenly facing a 3rd and long and you really have no air game, you don't really have a long ball to work with, then you're kind of screwed. You're kind of hoping for some heroics from your running back to get that 12, 15 yard run out. So we'll see what they can do.
Kenny will elect to throw here, and he'll go right over the head of an Anacortes defender, but not within reach for Lindsey. Put Joe Cutter on the ground there, but he'll bounce back and get up quickly, and most likely have an offense or an opportunity to come out on offense here. Getting a little slurred with my words here, but
it's 3rd quarter. It's okay.
We'll keep on moving here.
We'll get it. But yeah, the ball is a little overthrown, and he was in double coverage. I mean, there's not much you can do there except cross your fingers and hope.
But that's a tough play to complete.
It's a tough ball, and I think they were just in a rough spot. So unsurprising here that they don't convert it, and now 4th down. Good punt, though.
Baldwin touched that one, so he's going to have to pick it up, and he does. Looking towards the near side of the field now. Moving well is Jacob Baldwin, hit from behind real hard, but
good
I think he'll take those kind of hits all day if it allows him to make those kind of plays.
You see the Redhawks bench there helping him up. I think the teams have buried the hatchet there, so really nice to see that sportsmanship from the Redhawks bench there. Like I said, great punt. I mean, he went from the 30 to the 30 on that one. So.
And then, yeah, right after he touched it, if that was me, I'd have a little panic.
Oh, yeah.
Because to be able to pick that up and then just immediately move forward with that kind of speed, it's really impressive. So now at the 48-yard line, Larson and the Seahawks will come out and try to kind of solidify this win here with maybe another score. Although now, looking to the ground game more. And right now, the Redhawks are kind of able to read that.
That was a good stop. One of the better defensive plays we've seen from them all day. So really exciting to see. Maybe, like I said, there's some second half life in the Redhawks. It's a little early to say. It was one play, but we'll take anything at this point. Looks like there might be an timeout or something, or they just have a lot of
I think they're
lot of time on the play
they're just
clock,
waiting. Yeah. But on that play, Shu was maybe able to get a yard. Not even looks to be that. So yeah, good stop by Port Townsend there.
They hand it to him again.
Couple cuts backs, and Jake Shu's got an open lane once again. We've got flags that might be a holding call because those kind of holes don't come without offensive kind of manipulation. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, just another spectacular run from Jake Shu. The cutbacks, he found his lane, he ran right through it, and not only the power he shows, like breaking tackles, but he's just got so much speed. He found that outside lane, and he really went for it. So
there it is. That's the holding call against the Seahawks. So that'll push him back to a 2nd and 20, I believe.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't just put them back to that. It takes away the great play by Jake Shu. So it's really more like a 30 or 40 yard loss, which is kind of unfortunate. So unfortunate penalty on the Seahawks.
Second down at 19 yards.
Then again, there's really no hole that they haven't been able to climb out of.
Exactly. Like we saw the 1st and 25 that they got out of in 2 plays. So 2nd and 19 isn't the greatest hurdle for them, so would not be surprised if they convert here.
See if they elect to throw it on this play. It looks as though they will. Larson's going to look on the button route to Cutter. He can't keep that ball in his hands near the sidelines. So now a 3rd and quite long coming up. This is when it
gets a little more difficult, yeah.
Because now your play calling arsenal is super limited.
Yeah, you really only have deep balls because while Jake Shu has been an absolute monster tonight, you can't consistently rely on him to make 20-yard runs.
No.
So even though he's done that quite often in the past, you can't rely on it. So I would not be surprised if there's some sort of probably 3 or 4 wide receiver lineup and looking for probably a deep ball.
Larson just taking his time. And he's just going to look for Shu. And he's hit quickly now, fumbling it as Jake Shu gets his hands on it.
Good recovery.
That could have been a huge shift for the Redhawks if they were able to come down with that. But,
I mean, there's those patented football bounces you saw there.
Yeah.
The Redhawks, it looked like they had it, and the football just went, it's not your day today. Bounced right into Jake Shu's hands.
And, even without that fumble, Shu was met immediately by Anson Jones.
I mean, you see the light at the end of the tunnel here for Redhawks. I mean, their defense is at least showing some life, so really happy to see some sort of turnaround at the half, and now their offense just needs to get something going. I don't expect a super miraculous comeback, but at least some sort of takeaway for them would be nice so they don't go home with a shutout defeat in their hands.
Hayden John now will punt the ball. Solid punt.
Ooh.
And now Kenny will move upfield past the 30-yard line and brought down right around there as well. As you see, not available on the camera right now, but to kind of solidify what we were saying earlier, now it's on the Redhawks sideline, we see for sure that number 44, Siamu Asega, has been ejected from the game, and he's padless in sweatpants on the sideline, just cheering on his teammates, trying to keep their spirits high. I'm sure, while he's not happy that he's not playing, I don't think that he's super angry anymore. I'm sure that he's calmed down, and
it looks like he's over it. And I'm glad. It's nice to see him support his team, and his team. I mean, I said it earlier. They were helping up the Anacortes players after some tackles and from the sidelines. So I think the talk from the referees went over well, and I think the coaches probably had some words with them during the halftime, and so it's really nice to see that everyone has buried the hatchet and has moved on really maturely. So.
Lonnie Kenny
there took a quarterback draw, maybe gained a yard, not much there for Kenny though. So a second and long coming up. And this quarter kind of winding down quicker, it seems, than the first two, just because the scoring hasn't been the same. Yeah.
Not a lot of stoppage of play. There's so many runs. They're all tackled in field, and the clock's just winding down. There's not a lot of extra points, not a lot of kickoffs. So, 10 minutes or whatever has flown by.
And this time, Kenny's throw will be completed. Good reception there from Gerald Lindsay.
Is that the first completion of the night? I think that's the first.
It might actually be,
if my memory serves correctly. That was, I think, the first completion throw of the night, and that's on their new subbed-in quarterback as well from the second half. So,
yeah, just kind of a textbook rollout from Kenny, and then
nice catch and double coverage.
Lindsay was able to create a bit of separation off of Ufkis there, and
I think the Anacortes cornerbacks might be getting a little bit complacent in the back line. Throws haven't come to you in 15 or so plays. You might not be quite expecting it, so maybe just a bit of a surprise on the defensive backs there.
And they'll go back to the ground game, which doesn't serve them as well as they would have hoped.
But it's something. There's been no turnovers.
This is true.
There's been no turnovers. They got a first down. I mean, they're past their 50-yard line. It's something. We take those.
Hopefully the Redhawks can get on the board here. If not in this drive, at least sometime before the game winds down.
Regardless of if it's the Seahawks or the Redhawks, I am never a fan of big blowouts just because it hurts. It hurts real bad to not have anything to take away. And
it's time to pitch to Massey, who's been there masked in the storm. I had to throw it in at some point. I apologize.
How long have you been holding on to that one?
Really, actually, I have to admit that kind of came out of nowhere.
No way.
I'm impressed. I wasn't thinking about that.
That's definitely one you write down at 1 a.m. Like, I'm gonna use that one tomorrow on the broadcast.
To clarify, I am a 16-year-old, but that dad joke was there.
You're wearing your dad's suit. It must be the mojo, Sorry to out you like that, but
touche. I mean, well,
it's getting to you.
I mean, I can't be frustrated. His fashion sense, even at 53, is pretty strong. So I'll take what I can get here, as I'm sure the Redhawks will do the same.
Ooh,
this
great
throw from Kenny, nice ball to another name that I may butcher. Mikaja, I don't think you pronounced the J there. Shiflet. We'll call him Shiflet because that's the last name. That's a little easier.
Perfect.
But anyway, the main point there is a completion.
2 in a row.
So the switch at quarterback serving a positive effect here for the Redhawks thus far.
Yeah, really quick throw. The middle linebackers weren't quite ready for it, and that was just an absolute bullet. And that both on the same page. The receiver turned out right at the right time and worked out really well. And that was a nice 12-yard gain.
So now the narratives kind of switching as this time gets it out of the hands. Risky play there by Kenny because it was almost intercepted by Thomas, as we do see a flag come in.
That'll be intentional grounding, I'm pretty sure.
But what I was going to say before that exciting play just occurred was kind of the narratives just flip-flopping here. Now the Redhawks run game, not working at all. And the pass game kind of opening up for them. And the Seahawks, who have had a pass game pretty strong, their run game also been strong, but now the run game kind of getting shut down for the Seahawks.
Exactly. I mean, it's really exciting for them to get that extra tool under their belt offensively, and yeah, you'll see the intentional grounding call bring them back. The quarterback, he was getting pressured and he threw it, but you have to throw it out of bounds for it to be an incomplete pass. And,
right.
He didn't quite make it. The defensive line was right in his face, so don't really blame him for that. It's just how it happened. So a bit of an unfortunate play, and now it's back to 2nd and 10. Or 2nd and 25. My bad.
The question now is, would he have actually lost more yardage had he been sacked?
Yeah.
Because there's a possibility that you're maybe at the 45 as compared to the 49. Trick play here from the Redhawks works well, and they get all the yardage back in one play. That's something we've normally seen from the Seahawks tonight. But this time, Gerald Lindsey coming up for a big play.
17-yard gain. I mean, they're right back in, and now we're at 3rd and 7. So really nice play from them, and I was even a little bit faked out too, and the Seahawks definitely were. They were going down to the right-hand side, and then all of a sudden they play actioned it back up to a left-hand side hook, and there was a nice bit of running there.
I think just to tack on an extra 3 yards to the 3rd and 7 there. Still a 3rd and 10 here. They will have to get to the 24.
Lies.
In order to the first down markers generally like to agree with me, but
come on. He must have got ran out of bounds before.
Anyway, we're seeing continual motions here from the Redhawks, and
yeah, the pocket just collapses so fast every time. I mean, you saw the 2 completions they do have. They were really short, quick throws where it seemed like he got the snap and then instantly threw it.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing he's doing these rollouts, and the pocket is just collapsing instantly. I mean, the Seahawks defensive line is just getting in his face so quick that it's really hard to get a nice throw out. So.
And at this point in the game, late in the 3rd quarter now, with really only a little over 12 minutes left to play, it's pretty conceivable that the Redhawks will go ahead and go for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why not. I mean, you're down 34. You just want to get something. You want to get something. There's no real shame in not converting here. So.
But time-wise and yardage-wise, for that matter, too, this has been their longest drive of the night, and it's been a pretty impressive one at that. Now throwing into triple coverage, basically. Good read there from Tony Rios, able to stop that opportunity for the Redhawks, who were trying to keep something going there. But finally the Seahawks come up with a defensive stand and get their offense back out onto the field.
And I mean, nice defensive play by Tony Rios, and also it's good to see him back in the game. He was injured in the 1st quarter, I think, and we were kind of worried about that defensive superstar not being on the side of the Seahawks. So glad he's back, probably after a nice rest and maybe some halftime medical attention. So good to see him back.
Good to see also, as you were hoping in the first half, that Larson would be staying in for the duration of the game, and it looks to be that way, as now he floats one to Carson Ports past the 50-yard line, makes a cutback. Carson Ports down the sideline. He's got the speed, but Kenny finally finds him near the 15, maybe within the 20-yard line. We'll keep it generalized.
In the red zone.
We'll keep it generalized for you, but wow, off the bat, another huge play from the Seahawks.
I mean, that was just a great throw and a good route too. I mean, just a really nice offensive play. You see the throw here, it went up nicely, and he's just wide open. I mean, he had a nice route. He beat his defender, and just no one was covering it. I'm actually surprised they chased him down here. A nice bit of speed out there from the defenders on the Redhawks side. But overall, huge game for the Seahawks, and it's nice to see their offense back in form after that 3-and-out.
And kind of getting back to their first half roots. Now the Seahawks, once again, Jake Shue breaks free just barely outside the end zone goes Jake Shue. Great tackle there late by the Redhawks to keep him out of the end zone.
Speaking of first half roots, I mean, Jake Shue shows up again. Huge 8-9 yard run. I mean, the consistency is just insane from Jake Shue here.
And it really seems as though actually Massey, who got the first touch on him and then was able to chase him down for the tackle, but Shue, pretty much the entire game, the first touch hasn't been enough to bring him down.
Exactly. Both the running backs on the side of the Seahawks and the Redhawks have just been really, really good at finding their lanes, having the speed to stay in them, and just breaking tackles. I think Logan Massey has definitely been the star of the offensive side for the Redhawks, and Jake Shue's been up there. I think earlier I was saying he was my offensive MVP, but Rex Larson has just
There's
been
a throw to the senior Jacob Baldwin. Sorry to cut you off,
no
Mason,
worries.
but
Maybe I'm saying I was talking about my MVP was maybe Jake Shue, but another great ball from Rex Larson. I might have to change my mind here.
I mean, he now has 4 touchdowns to his name
Insane.
in this affair, as the play clock was pretty close to 0 there. Had to get that ball off quickly, but Rex Larson showing no signs of panic even in those sort of pressured situations. Able to get that ball off quickly and into the hands of the senior Jacob Baldwin for his first touchdown of the night.
Just really showing his composure as a player, and it's just really impressive out of a debut freshman here. So really, really impressed with his play tonight.
And the extra point that follows is also good. So now looking at a 41-point lead in favor of the Seahawks. Redhawks still yet to score.
Yeah, Seahawks or the Redhawks will have 25 seconds to make this next drive happen, but they have all 3 timeouts, so maybe they can get down the field a little bit, but it looks like this will be the score going into the fourth quarter, 41-0 Seahawks.
Yeah, and well, I'd be surprised if they elected to use any of those timeouts now rather than
save it.
Save
it for a more important time.
But that with 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, so just a little over 12 to go in this entire game now, that seems to be the dagger.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we weren't expecting a super big comeback, but I'm not super confident in the Redhawks' ability to even get on the board in this game. I'd really hope for them to, but it seems to be just a slow demoralization from the Seahawks on the offense and defensive side. So we'll see what happens in the fourth quarter, but it's looked like a Seahawks victory. It definitely will be a Seahawks victory, and there's never been a point in this game where I thought, ooh, like maybe we're in trouble.
This might
here.
tip the scale in the other direction.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that the Redhawks will come away with something just for their mental fortitude. But other than that, I think the Seahawks have put on a great show so far, and especially with not even their starting lineup. I mean, they've given so many different second string guys time to play in these games, and just really impressed with all their performances so far. And I think the coach will be really happy with the team's performance.
As Nelson's kick bounces back into the end zone, so the Redhawks will grab it at the 20-yard line and try to change the narrative that they've written for themselves to this point in the game, which has kind of been on the cusp continuously of getting, just they want to get over that hump, and they've been close.
They have it, and then just this one thing happens and something goes wrong. But it's been consistent improvement. I mean, the first couple drives we saw from them were 3-and-outs and 1-play turnovers, 2-play turnovers. The last drive we saw from them, they got 2 first downs, and they were only really stopped by a big penalty. So I'm interested to see what they can get going on this drive. That'll be the end of the third quarter, but we'll pick it back up in the fourth quarter, see what the Redhawks have going on offense after this break.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at KennellyKeysMusic.com, follow us on Facebook, or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall, Canelli Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes.
Behind every great Anacortes club and team, there's an unspoken hero. People that get us our team gear, organize our team dinners, and support us in everything else we need. From every student athlete in AHS, thank you, Saba, for the football team's two-a-day shirts, the volleyball team's warm-up gear, and everything else in between. Saba, the Seahawks Athletic Booster Association.
Bring you back here for the last quarter of action. Now swapping fields, we have the Redhawks at their own 20-yard line. And Kenny will hand it off. An immediate flag coming out after a 2-yard run by Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, they go back to their tried and true run game. There's a penalty here. If it's against the Redhawks and they're pushed back to maybe their 8 or 7, Seahawks might actually look for a safety here. I mean, they don't need the points, but I think it'd be kind of cool. You know, we've had some big defensive plays from them, but it's always fun as a defender to get some points on the board. So I think that would be kind of sick. So I'm kind of hoping for the penalty against the Redhawks, just so that there's the opportunity for that. I didn't quite see what the penalty was. Or who he motioned to, but it doesn't look like they're changing the position of the ball too much. Okay,
now
it looks
will.
Yeah, it looks to be against the Redhawks. Like the huddle wasn't changing at all, and I was like, where are they going? The refs looked a little confused themselves. So now back at their 10-yard line, and here we are. We're in safety territory. I mean, it's the play I always look for. It's always a fun one. 2 points. It kind of gets rid of that missed extra kick, because you can maybe say that
this is true.
You had like a 2-point conversion in there somewhere, and you can kind of bury that one under the rug. No one will ever know if you get the safety.
Kenny will get a throw off, and it's picked off. So no safety needed, as Kent DiCostanzo, the 11th grader for the Seahawks, picks up a huge interception near the end zone of the Redhawks.
Thousands of fantastic pictures are taken by.
That works too. It's not a safety, but it's still probably points on the board. I mean, you're 6 yards out as the offense. I would be surprised that you don't get some points out here. You either get a touchdown or
there we go. Yeah, I saw I wanted to let you finish your thought, but I saw the motions from the Redhawks sidelines.
Oh, I saw at the end of the play there, so it looks like the person who caught the interception then fumbled the ball. I think that's what it was, because there was the Redhawks player who looked to be like celebrating with the ball at the end there.
Right.
So it doesn't look like Seahawks get possession back, but still a loss of yardage. We're back on the 7 now.
So now Mason's favorite play is still within range here. Now at the 6-yard line, the Redhawks.
Yeah, normally I'd be rooting for a turnover, but at 41-0 with 10 minutes left, just gave me what I want.
So they will run it. And trying to steamroll himself forward. That's...
Oh, and because of that change of possession, they're on first down. Like, this is now second down.
Right.
So they have a new set of downs.
Good
That's kind of cool.
there.
Because technically it changed possession to the Seahawks and then was rechanged again. So they basically, it's like that last drive never even happened. So, maybe it was a strategic play all along. They knew they needed the extra downs, so they threw the interception and then knew he'd fumble it.
That's about the farthest analysis from the truth I think I've ever heard in a football game, but that's okay, man. As Kenny now getting pressured.
No!
He's going to throw, and there's Tony Rios.
Yes!
Can he finish right around the line of scrimmage that was the Redhawks line of scrimmage, rather? Goes Tony Rios off of an interception. Now 3 tallied interceptions for the Seahawks in this game. I mean, that's a product of pressure. That has to be. I mean, off of his back foot, deep in the end zone, you can't really throw
Basically
much
just,
farther
yeah,
than
it
10
was-
yards anyway. And
It was
Tony
just
Rios,
a throw of desperation.
I mean, he's in the right place in the right time. I'm sure he would have loved to finish that off and get past the pylons, but
Disappointed. He was
once
right
again,
there.
now we're seeing these substitutions for the Seahawks. They have been playing a lot of different guys in the defense, but now they're starting to switch up this offense, bringing in some different linemen and the receiver who we haven't seen much of tonight, who got the interception and then coughed it up. That's Di Costanzo.
Looks like there's a timeout for the Seahawks there. Maybe just trying to reset. Maybe they subbed in someone wrong, and they have 12 men on the field, something like that. So just trying to catch their breath. Take your time. I mean, you're winning 41-0. There's 7 minutes left. You can kind of do what you want at this point. So it's not like they need to save their timeouts for a last-minute drive or anything. So probably just talking it over, wondering what kind of play they want to go for. Maybe they're trying to spread out the touchdown stats. They don't want to give Joe his second or something. They want to give a new guy his touchdown or whatever. So you never know. You never know.
I just noticed on a more personal note, I think we have to commemorate the refs that are here tonight, because I'm seeing now the face of one of them that I recognize from wrestling tournaments. So
Dang.
I didn't realize the transitional power that these refs have to go from sport to sport. That's really impressive to me, that he understands both sports well enough to be able to ref them.
And is willing to donate his time to come out here. I mean, if you're passionate about your town, and I mean, this is a pretty tight-knit community, so there's a lot of people that come out to these games that have been alum for many years. So maybe this is just his way of supporting his team, watching the game, and he just gets to be more involved, you know. If I was a retiree, that's probably what I would do. Ooh.
Here's Larson looking for Ports, and he will get in. The hands raised from the refs, and that's another score for the Seahawks. At this point, I would be cautious not to score again if I was Anacortes, because that's on the verge of kind of what happened in the first half, which is a lack of sportsmanship.
Yeah.
So I would hope that would probably be one of their last scores of the game, if not the last. But,
yeah.
Carson Porch coming up for the Seahawks there.
Just kind of an unfortunate situation getting the ball on the 5-yard line or the 10-yard line. There's
how many other places can you go?
Exactly. There's not really many like experimental plays or the amount of substitutes you can run that are really going to change the course of that play. So going for the extra point here. It looks like Caleb Nelson is not in.
That'll be Connor Cunningham trying to.
Oh, this one looks to be good.
And it is.
Redeeming himself.
The comeback from Cunningham.
That's what he was looking for. And that's nice. I'm glad they went for that. I mean, like you said, they don't really need the points on the board, and might as well give them a chance to get one back.
So now, just to put it in perspective, what the Anacortes offense has generated, their score on the board is the same as the total time played in a football game. 4 12-minute quarters comes out to 48 minutes.
So they've scored a point a minute.
Yeah, if you were to average it that way. So a low ball from Connor Cunningham, but
gets the job done.
It's an effective ball still, yeah.
You don't want to see those on the kickoff, but for extra points, you'll take it.
That'll work just fine. So coming to about the halfway point in this 12th divided by 3. Fourth quarter of play.
There you go.
God, my numbers were on point just a few minutes,
yeah, man, you've been calling
ago,
out all the names and seeing the numbers on the field.
No, of course. we like to kid up here in the booth. Anyway, as I was saying, now just over the halfway point through this fourth quarter of play, starting to wind down here in the game.
This will likely be, I would suspect, probably the last drive from the Redhawks. I mean, unless they get 3 and outed or something like that. If they can put together one of their probably 2 or 3 first down.
Well, here's Massey with a good return.
Wow, great running from him. And like I said, over and over, he's definitely just been the star of their offensive efforts. He's really the only one that's really been able to get something going and just been a constant threat. on their side. So
I think right now, if we were to choose MVPs for each team, I don't know which way you would lean for the Seahawks. I would probably go Logan Massey for the Redhawks, and I think at this point, with now 5 TDs under his name, it would probably go to Larson. Also, just because of the freshman factor, which is that
and it's debut game. It's your first start. I think that's a great storyline for him, and something he'll think about.
And I think this kind of serves metaphorically as the passing of the torch for the Seahawks. And the flag right before the snap is even called, but Kenny didn't really pay that one any mind before handing it off. So that is going to be a false start, and that'll push the Redhawks back 5 yards.
Clock keeps going, though, after penalties, so it counts as kind of a down. So winding some time off this clock, and like I said, I would not be surprised if this is the last Redhawks drive, and then the Seahawks just kind of run it into the ground. They maybe get 2 or 3 first downs, enough so that they can just take a knee and get the game over with. Because I think, like you said, I don't think they want to score any more points. I think that would that's not their goal at this point.
So after the loss, it will still be first down, but a 1st and 15, as you saw on the scoreboard there. Redhawks really want to put some points on the board before the end of this game. This, as you were saying, might be their last chance to do so. Running the ball forward, there's no quit in that guy. Actually, his maybe first ball of the night. I know it's his first run, but that's Jesse Kithcart with the carry, junior from Port Townsend.
Really good run from him, picking up about 6 yards, and it puts them kind of back in their comfort zone, because at 1st and 15, going for those 3-4 yard carries isn't going to get you the first down and 3. So a nice run out of him, and now they only have 9 yards to go, so they can go back to their huge and get that first down. Maybe continue this drive.
I like the unorthodox abbreviation.
The huge.
I mean, if people know what you're talking about, why not, right?
Gotta spice it up. Oh.
So, little miscommunication there, but it still gets into the hands of Logan Massey, who's able to turn it into a positive yard.
And I mean, that's all you
positive
need to
yardage gain. Yeah.
Get it in the hands of Logan Massey.
Kind of the janitor there, Massey. Well, I mean, he cleaned up that play well. Yeah, and that could have been
pretty disastrous.
Really negative for the Redhawks.
It looked like one of their drive-ending plays, kind of the fumbled snap or something like that. That could have been a bump that turns into a fumble, or maybe a big sack that just ends their drive. It's the little things that happen in the Redhawks offensive side that just kind of ruins their momentum and their drives. That seem to happen pretty consistently. So that looked like a pretty scary play, but it worked out okay. And it looks like we're taking a timeout on the Redhawks side. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the final 2 minutes of this game. And welcome back. And while we didn't quite get the commercial break we were hoping for, it was still a nice little breather for Michael and I. We're back with the Redhawks offense. They're at about the 50-yard line, 3rd and 7. So they kind of need to convert here, or they're in a 4th down situation where if the Seahawks get the ball, it's definitely just game over. With only 1:45 left, you have enough downs where you can just take a knee and the game will run out of time. And that's a great run there from number 31 on the Redhawks side, and that'll give them the first down.
Similar to the play where you thought it was 3rd and 7, you're just 3 short.
Was I?
That's 34. But yeah, I mean who else could it be? That's Logan Massey.
Was it Logan Massey?
But
Braden Thomas for the
I'm so
Seahawks
sad.
with the tackle.
well done by Logan Massey to pick up a first down for the
I should have known.
Redhawks.
I
Gain
should
of
have
10
known.
yards on the play.
He's the only one.
First down
I'm
for the
not going to
Redhawks.
say
The ball's
anything about
placed
their
at the
field
Seahawks
position
41.
or how this drive is going.
Yeah.
Just
Well, they got tackled in field again, so the clock is winding down. We only have a minute left, so I'm surprised they didn't take another timeout there. Maybe they just want this game to be over with.
that would be my my assumption. And
They're
they
just going to
will
run it again.
keep it on the ground here, moving forward. That looks to be Aaron Glanz.
They're still not quite doing a no huddle formation, even though they're
Aaron
winding down the
Glanz
clock. So
with
they're
the carry.
really not in any hurry. I think they're just trying to get as far as they can with runs. They'll maybe
Gain
take
of 2
one
yards on the
timeout
play.
and then either kick a field goal or maybe just Hail Mary it,
I mean, at this point, the play clock
Be
is
second
a few
down.
seconds behind
8
the
yards
game
to
clock,
go.
and theoretically, they don't even have to take
Yeah,
a play right now if they don't
exactly.
want to. But just because we've seen them not take timeouts to this point, this is probably going to be the last play of the game.
Yeah, I would think this is either the last play or if they want, they can get this one off. Ooh, nice run.
Logan Massey got some speed near the sideline. He'll slide.
Didn't quite get out of bounds, so they
Logan
have to take a
Massey
timeout
with
here
the
if they
carry.
want. No.
That there's the final horn. So a win for Anacortes
Final
in
score
blowout
in
fashion
this
here at
afternoon's
home
game, the Seahawks 48
Yeah.
on
and
a
the Redhawks
Wednesday
0.
afternoon.
Once again,
And that puts Port Townsend down 0-4, and all of their games have been pretty serious blowouts, so kind of a disappointing season for them. But like we said, we saw flashes. We saw something there from their offense and their defense. There was a 3-and-out. There was an interception on the side of Port Townsend, so definitely a spark in this team. Hopefully they're not too defeated by this this loss, but definitely great showing by Anacortes.
It looks as though this is the second week in a row that we've called the game a little early. It looks as though they're going to get one more playoff. I'm not sure if they called a timeout or
They
if
probably did call
or
a
if they
timeout.
called him out of bounds but anyway.
I bet they called a timeout before the referee got a hold of it. So we'll see one last play. It'll likely just be a deep ball, and they'll hope for the best. Maybe get some points on the board, get some to take home.
Massey in motion, it will. Good call, Mason. And they'll float that one into the hands of none other than Noah Hunter, who's now got his third interception of the night.
And that'll be game.
Big game for Noah Hunter there as he caps off the Seahawks' monumental win with an interception on the last play, which is not how the Redhawks probably wanted to conclude their showing today.
Yeah.
But a great finish on the other side for the Seahawks. So we'll go ahead and leave you guys for a little while. We will come back for a post-game breakdown, but for now we'll take a break and
we'll be
see you for some post-game highlights in a second.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is bag of Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And Pretzel Crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza. At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No tests or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at KennellyKeysMusic.com Follow us on Facebook or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall, Canelli Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes.
Bringing you back here, Michael Hanrahan alongside Mason Bakke as we wrap up this broadcast. Excuse me. Great showing for the Seahawks. Kind of this indication of a coming of age for the team who haven't been a football powerhouse for a while, but now kind of showing signs of new life, especially with the powerful play from young players.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw mostly a second seed squad coming out from the Seahawks here. You saw most of the starters on the bench or not in necessarily key roles. You saw a freshman quarterback, Rex Larson, and really promising signs of the football atmosphere in Anacortes to come. I'm really excited to see how this team matures. And I mean, you saw just last year we only had a JV squad, and the year before that our varsity squad wasn't that impressive. So maybe this is a new coming for the Seahawks. You saw the young players really showing up strong. So
fingers crossed. Hopefully some great things to come in the near future. The Seahawks will wrap up their season this weekend at home against Meridian. Hopefully we'll have a chance to cover that game for you. But for now, we'll leave you with some full game highlights and say good evening and good night here from Rice Stadium. Have a good one, folks.
Thank you.